Hello, friends. A common question on WhatsApp. Okay, my employer made me a counteroffer, which means I handed in my resignation. That's it. I submitted my resignation. Registered letter or email, it didn't matter. They contacted me and said, wait, let's talk. Come with us to this office. But what's happening? It's about money. How much did they offer you? You're earning 50,000 euros a year. Did they offer you 55? Listen, no problem. 55, we'll give you 55. That's not an issue. But you could have told us you didn't need to resign. If they had talked to us, we couldn't have known, all right? Or something like, did they help you advance in your career? Did you get another role? We already have those roles here and are currently recruiting for them. We prefer, we have values that make us prefer internal promotion and all that. That's us. We would have given you that. You just had to tell us. We couldn't have known, okay? So the question that comes up often is, should I accept the counteroffer? Should I tell them, listen, okay, guys, so all of this was just a misunderstanding. I'm ready to tear up my resignation. Then we start fresh. And then, you give me a raise or a new role or whatever you decide. Career progression. I often use the word progression, but it's intentionally vague. People see progression differently. Some by salary, others by hierarchy, role, or responsibilities. Everyone has their own career goals, which depend on their aspirations, which depend on what they want. All right? But we generally call that progression. So do you have to accept? So let me tell you something. When you get to that situation, you have to refuse to negotiate. You have to leave. Either resignation is like a cannonball. You can't take it back once it's gone. So you always have to think carefully before resigning. Reflect on it yourself, discuss it with family and friends, and even with strangers for an objective view. But once you say the word resignation, it's a one-way road. There's no turning back. Even if they offer you, if they throw gold at your feet, you leave, it's over, finished. You shouldn't go back. Everyone I know, I made this mistake myself. So I'm also talking about myself. And the people I know personally, or people who have written to me, who tell me about this kind of experience. Every time someone agreed to come back, every time someone came to the door, he agreed to come back and talk, and he agreed to stay. He always paid dearly for it, okay? There's nothing. You can't win in there. So why does the employer agree to make you an offer? Why does he make you an offer? He makes you an offer not because he values you. Because if he knew how to value you, he would have valued you before you left. If he wanted to give you more money, they should have given you a raise. During your annual review, for example, they should have told you, listen, you deserve 55. We're going to give you more money. All right? If they had thought that you deserved any kind of career advancement about the role, they should have offered it to you, given you opportunities, or left doors open. While you were there, not wait until you were at the door. Okay? So it's not sincere on their part. So why do they want to keep you? The reason is simple. It's that you surprised them. That's what they say. They didn't expect your resignation, or if they did, they knew it would happen now. So they're in a bad position. A bad position, what does that mean? From the company's perspective, what does a bad position look like? It's fine. A couple of your colleagues have already quit. So the team is under pressure. The skill has left, even if we've hired replacements, but they're new. Won't it take them months or even years to build skills and become effective? So the team is under pressure. We have an audit coming up next month, and we have big contracts that are really hanging in the balance right now. There's a lot happening on the edge with work and files to finish. We can't just replace someone at the drop of a hat like that. We can't just snap our fingers and replace someone. Even if companies say or make you feel you're irreplaceable, in truth, an employee is truly irreplaceable. When an employee leaves, their personality, knowledge, experience, and unique touch go with them. When an employee leaves, part of the company dies, truly. But unfortunately, most companies don't see it that way. And so they don't realize that their human resources are truly their greatest strength. And so the employee who leaves will put them in a difficult situation. So they say to themselves, he surprised us. In other times, we would have just let him go. But now we're really in trouble. So what do? They'll catch you at the door and say, come on, let's talk. They'll offer you things, make promises, a lot of promises. Watch my video about the verbal promises companies make. Well, promises are worth nothing. They refuse to put anything in writing and just promise a raise or a future role if I ask for money or a position. Let me tell you. Same example that happened to me. But anyway, it overlaps. It overlaps. It's not just my personal story that I'm telling you. It overlaps with stories that people tell me all day long. Today, I was in a company. I was starting to get bored in my role. I had been there for years. There were more interesting roles than what I was doing. Roles that matched my skills at the time better. Joining the company naturally improved my skills. So at some point, there were other roles that paid better, that were more interesting, that did much cooler things. And then those roles, they're handed out under the table, which means they're given out among friends, okay? After a while, I got fed up with it. So what did I do? I told myself I'd go somewhere else. I handed in my resignation, and he showed me the door. So they're capable of lying. My friends, you know what I should have done? I should have recorded them. And by the way, between us, if you're working from home and you're having weird conversations with your employer, where there are things going on, honestly, record it if you can. I know it's not always possible on your work computer since they can see it. But honestly, the simplest. Hide. Just a phone. Turn up the volume. Hide the phone outside the camera. Before joining the meeting, press record. Keep this kind of thing, my friends. Because if one day you're in conflict, if one day you go to labor court, if one day, it would be very interesting to have this kind of thing, really. So, what I do is, I go to the meeting, but I don't record any of that, all of it. And I need all the promises in the world. But us, of course, if you want more money, but us, we value you. I even have the human resources manager. Yes, so before coming, I looked at your file. You have absolutely extraordinary service records. Everyone respects you. Everyone speaks highly of you. You are the kind of person that our company cannot afford to lose. People like you. We would prefer that you stay. We'll give you any role you want because you excel at everything you do. And honestly, they're capable. Wow. They're capable of flattering you. Seriously, I mean, that's it. More. A director who's there, one more too. Ah, yes, but us, the budget, we have it. I didn't know. All right, yes, I know, I checked. I know you're undervalued compared to your market value. I know the market for your skills has changed. If you want money, I'll sign the check and you'll get a raise with a higher next salary. Let's go. They do this to keep you because they need you now. On the other hand, what's going to happen is that several things are going to happen. None of the verbal promises will be kept. The verbal promises, they just throw them out in the moment, by the way. Listen to my video on verbal promises. They are worthless and only matter to those who believe them. That's the main point. Secondly, you'll fall into the category of people. Unreliable. That means you caught them once. Yes? Okay, you caught them. All right, they got caught. They had to get down on their knees for you, to keep you, to save. A lot of things that you're doing. Now, they don't want that to happen to them in 6 months, in 3 months. That means immediately they're going to get together and say, okay, we managed to keep the guy. Ooh, we dodged a bullet. On the other hand, he's going to leave, the guy. He's going to leave. He's not happy. I know it. So what we're going to do is we'll have to speed up recruitment. We'll have to speed up his replacement. I don't want him handling the hottest assignments anymore. We'll give them to his colleagues so they can develop their skills. What do I think? We assign his toughest cases to his colleagues, but he will oversee them, he will help them, he will work with them. To pass them on, we do a skills transfer. So he gives the case, I don't know, he gives the Banque de France case, or he gives the Marseille City Hall case, or he gives the Munich City case, or something else. He gives it to colleagues. It's true that his colleagues don't have the skills to handle them, but what he'll do is sit down with them and then pass on his expertise. And as for him, well, now he costs us more. We're going to make him work. Anyway, I don't think he's going to stay. I think he's going to leave. So we don't care. You see what I mean? This is the kind of talk that happens behind your back, meaning they're planning to get rid of you. Everything that made your job enjoyable or interesting is gone. Now, they'll only give you thankless tasks and begin taking your knowledge. Start recruiting your replacements and you'll see them arrive. We'll be all sweet with them. We'll be on our knees in front of them. While with you, we'll already start treating you carelessly. Because you wanted to leave the family. Okay, you're a guy we can't trust. You won't have any allies in the company. Because the word will get around that you resigned, that we caught you before you left. But we know now, everyone knows you're not going. Everyone knows he's not going to stay. Okay, everyone knows it. No one will want to ally with you since alliances are always based on shared interests. So, if you stay in the company, I can help you, I can do you a favor because I know that you too will return the favor. But if you're about to leave, imagine that we're at the restaurant. In a meeting, there are people saying nasty things about you. Will I defend you? Why would a colleague defend you? Oh, I have an appointment in a little while. Why would a colleague defend you? He won't defend you because he has no interest in doing so. You're leaving, you're nothing at all. You're worth nothing now. Your quality of life will decline, but if you accept, you choose to stay. And what about verbal promises? For example, the verbal promises that were made to me were not kept, okay? The salary promise was kept. Since it was quantified, it was objective and undeniable. But the promise to change roles, these roles that were handed out under the table, that were given among friends, I was promised, I was told, listen, no, ADHR told me this, listen, we've always worked in trust and have known each other here for a long time. I'm being fair, asking you to trust me. I know you want this role and your track record shows you're qualified. I know that after a few years you deserve to move into a role like this and all that. I completely agree with you. I don't have this role available and can't give it to you now, not within the next hour or even in 24 hours. I need a few days, but it's just a matter of a few days. By the end of the month, you'll be in, all right? We don't want you to leave, we want you to stay, and we'll give you this role. I can tell you, a few days later, she agreed to a meeting. Now I'm working on it and getting permissions. 3 weeks later, I was at the point of saying, yes, my calendar is open. If you want to talk to me, the calendar is available. You come. And then, well, I don't know what you have to say to me, but you come. 2 months later, I was still doing the same job. 3 months later, I was still doing the same job. And it was getting more and more difficult, okay? Eventually, I left when I realized I was unwanted. So I left quietly, okay? This time, no one spoke to me or wrote to me. That's it. They didn't need me anymore. Okay? So you should never, ever stay. If you decide to resign, you resign. If you want to start conversations about your career development, about your salary, start them. But not by using resignation as an argument. Because the resignation argument is one way. It doesn't go back, okay? This isn't up for debate. It's time to leave, okay? Thank you, my friends, for listening to this video up to this point, and I'll see you in the next one. See you very, very soon.